Hi, this is Robbie with Tickner Photography. I want to do a kind of a first look at my Rokinon 85mm 1.4 lens. I've had it for a few days now and I've been able to take a couple test shots with it, and I'm really liking this lens. It's a fun lens. It's kind of old school because it's all manual, but it's a fun thing to use. And the images I'm getting from it are excellent. I'm really happy with them. So first we'll take a little look at this lens, and I'll show you some of the features that it has, just some of the kind of neat things about it. So first of all, I'll get closer. The focus ring is nice and solid, which is good because it's a manual focus lens. You're going to be using that exclusively. The aperture ring is right here, and it has nice clicks. A thing about it, it has the numbers listed on top. Here, let me show you real quick. It has the numbers listed, but they actually step like halfway in between on some of them. So it's not a full step. So it goes from F1.4 to 2, and then there's a step between F2 and F2.8. Likewise, there's a step between F2.8 and F4. So some of these have in-between steps, which is really nice. You have more aperture choices. Another thing about this lens, it has no contacts between the lens and the camera. So it doesn't know, or it will not record in your raw files what your aperture was. So that's a little bit difficult when to show you some of these as we go through Lightroom, because I don't really know what aperture. Usually I'm shooting around f2, f2.8, sometimes I go to 1.4. Gets a little bit softer there, and I'll try and show you that. Also, the lens flare changes. The lens hood on this, it's a nice lens hood, but the attachment is really cheap. It doesn't click into place. It just moves a little bit and then it'll come off, which is kind of annoying. If a big breeze or something, I mean, it's potential that it could move just a little bit and then you could lose the lens hood. I haven't had that happen yet. It's not a problem yet. I just wish there was a little bit more solid like click to lock into place. Also, the lens cap. The lens cap that it comes with has the you press on the edges to get it on, and with that you can't actually do it with the lens hood on, which I find really annoying. So I bought a $5 lens cap that has the traditional ones that I'm used to, so I can put it on with the hood on and I'm good. So let's go through a couple test shots. I haven't taken that many. Like I said, I've only had it for a couple days. I haven't been able to take this out onto a real photo shoot yet. This was just kind of sitting around a backyard pool party, and then a couple things just walking around the outside of my complex here just to show specific aspects of how this lens behaves. So I'll run through these, and hopefully in a few weeks I'll be able to take this out onto a real shoot and show you some like proper nice images from it. But let's take a look at the computer here and we'll get started. All right, our first shot here is of our dog. And this was shot at 1.4. I remember that, but you can't actually see, so you just have to make note of that. I was a hair focused forward on this, but you can see how shallow the depth of field is at f1.4. It's really incredible. It will create awesome portraits. Also, one thing about manual focus lenses, this being a Sony, I have focus peaking, which I'll give you a demonstration of it in another video, but it really makes focus with this lens easy. And it's always, you have a live preview of your depth of field because it's manual, so you're actually seeing what you're getting, which is also kind of cool. All right, our next shot, my cousin here. This was shot at f2. See slight chromatic aberrations around the edges, but at 1:1 it's solid. I mean, that's pretty cool. Here's a sunflower, also shot at f2, maybe 2.8. I think it was f2. But the actual center of this lens is razor sharp, remarkably sharp. So next one, this was at f1.4, and we have our ball here in focus, but this was just to demonstrate how things fall out of focus, which they do very nicely. They fade off into this buttery smooth bokeh. It's really good. Here's a shot of someone jumping into the pool. I had to pre-focus these shots because it's not like you're going to track someone with this, but you can still get action shots if you know where the action is going to happen. Likewise, jumping into the pool, splash. So I pre-focused this. I knew where he was going to impact, so I focused at the edge of the water and I waited him to jump into the focal plane, and I just snapped a couple right then at 1/2500th of a second. Here's the cat, just to show, we're at 800 ISO, so it's a little bit dirty, but I mean, the depth of field is so shallow. The whiskers, from like one edge of the whisker to his nose, it goes completely out of focus. And the background, I mean, there's a table behind him, but you can't even tell. The background just fades away beautifully. Again, background fades away beautifully. Whiskers fade out of focus. Back of the cat falls out of focus. A shot someone just snapped of me really quick. From my eye, which is not really in great focus because we're at 50th of a second, to my ear falls out of focus. So this is going to be great for portraits. I'm really looking forward to taking this out on a photo shoot. Pizza we were having. I mean, center of this lens until about right here. So there's a box here that's in razor sharp focus, and then it seems as we approach the edge, we start to lose our sharpness. And you can kind of see the demonstration here. Razor sharp to less sharp. Not great. I'll try and figure out some better way to demonstrate that as I use this lens for more than a couple days. Another demonstration of how the background, so this same shot, different angle, you can see how this same bush just fades into complete like blur. It's really nice. Shallow depth of field shot. So this is what the lens flare looks like at f8. It turns into a nice starburst where the same shot opened up to f1.4 and you get this kind of cool rainbow like splash of color, which I haven't really seen in my other lenses before, but I kind of like this. Also, we can see the out of focus area. We're getting a wicked chromatic aberration here. So something to be aware of, but this isn't really focused on anything. It's not a great test, but it'll kind of give you an idea. This was mainly just to show the lens flare at f1.4. Flower or leaf just fades completely into nothing. Background is unrecognizable. I think that's all we have for right now. So like I said, I've only had this lens for a couple days and I'm really enjoying it. It's fun going out, kind of getting back to basics. You control your aperture, you control the focus. It's fun to use. So in a couple days, hopefully I'll be able to do a comparison video of this between my 70-200 2.8 and my 51.4. So we'll try and do a comparison of those and we'll see what we get. Also, I'll do another video as soon as I'm able to take this out on a photo shoot and give you some like real world, real life shots. So I hope you found this somewhat useful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.